Hey guys, it's Cody with Second Wind Sales and Services here, and what we are looking at is my Prusa Mini uh, 3D printer that is a little bit taken apart at the moment. So what had happened, I bought this thing used secondhand, um, and it's been going good, but it's had its issues. I could never get the hot end perfectly set uh, in the thing. And the other day, much to my own fault, I came in and this thing had picked up all of the filament and it was covered in a big ball of plastic. So I heated it up a little bit, cleaned it up, and I took the nozzle out, the nozzle that came with it, and when I did, what happened was it actually came with the threads that were supposed to be inside the hot end there. So now I can't get it screwed back in. So I figured I don't know the history behind this machine. I don't know what it's been through, what its life has been like. So I did take it apart. You can see cables from the hot end dangling there. Um, I just figured I would replace the whole hot end. I would replace the thermistor, and I would replace the yeah, like the actual hot end plate, the hot end bar. Just get it all done. Because I could never get this one seated properly ever. It was always leaking filament out the sides. So yeah, I figured let's just get it changed up. This could be original. The files that came on this thing when I bought it tell me that this was likely used for like commercial production, like either for markets or whatever. But it probably had seen a lot of life before I got a hold of it. The runtime counter had been reset, so I couldn't see exactly. But it has been doing a good job for me, and I use it pretty often for um, things like repairing parts, or if parts that I can't find or they're just too expensive to ship, I could just quickly print one off and off it goes. And yeah, so I did order basically a whole new print head, I guess. I got like the fan cover, a new nozzle, new this thingy. Excuse me, technical term. Um, this is the bit that attaches up through the fan thingy, and then the straw that feeds in the filament. And then I also got a new hot end and new thermistor that are actually not for this particular model, so we might have to get a little creative with attaching them. But I was just looking at them, and I think we could do it okay. This one is probably going to be pretty easy. The other one, the thermistor, wherever I put it, like it has a connector on it that doesn't go for this model, so we might have to just splice it onto the one that's already here. But that shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, I guess we'll just kind of get to work. I think the first thing we'll do is just put together the hot end itself, get it attached, and then wire it up. So let's get to work. We got some parts here that we're gonna need to assemble. These are the old ones. Um, we might need to keep this, the nozzle and heat end or hot end itself. I don't think we'll need, and the little straw thingy. So we will have a little look here. I think the first thing I probably want to do is assemble the nozzle into the hot end. And then I'll also put in our new the hot end and the thermistor. This is the heat thingy. Anyway, Okay, so we got a couple little parts here. I'm just gonna put them in a screw holder just to get them safe for now. So this and those things. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is put in the nozzle, and I think they recommend that you leave about 0.5 millimeter of space. So I'm not really sure if let's see here. So on the old one, this end kind of came up, so it probably goes this way, and then we'll screw in the nozzle. This is just a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. It's the standard size for this printer. And yeah, it says leave about 0.5 mil. So I'm just eyeballing it about there. I guess probably hard to pick up on this camera. And then the next thing is we want to install our new hot end and our new thermistor. So here's the new one, and it's gonna go, so that is this way. This is facing how it should be. It should go in this way, right? Yeah, I think so. And then we'll tighten that in, and it came with a little Allen key, which is kind of handy. I don't have the one that this unit came with originally. It wasn't included, but I think this will just go in here if I'm not mistaken. And then we'll just kind of, I'm not going to tighten it all the way, but most of the way, just so it's secure. Little tip, actually, this one's too small. That's okay, I have others. Let's see here, find the right size. This ones are actually a little bit more comfortable anyway. So on the old nozzle, I'll show you here in a second. It was like so caked in plastic and filament that I could not get the old one out. So the old hot end, or anything really for that matter, it's just a plastic mess, and I wasn't about to fight with it. So I literally just cut it off, the old unit, and bought a whole new setup. I figured I might as well anyway. Like I said, I don't know how old this machine is, how much it's been used, so it doesn't hurt to replace parts anyway. But yeah, I think it kind of sits like that. Seems pretty snug in there. Cool. And then I think the next thing is, I was going to show you. Yeah. So yeah, this thing was so coated in plastic that I just couldn't get anything out. The old hot end and thermistor is still in there. You can see the wires sticking out a little bit. But yeah, I wasn't even going to bother. There's no point. There was no point in fighting it. It was done like dinner. So that's that. Anyway, so we'll attach our new thermistor, and I think I was looking at it between cuts. I actually think that the connector is the same as the one I have on this unit, so I think we won't even have to splice that, which is kind of nice. But this one will probably need one of these tiny little bits that it came with. I need some tweezers. Let's see here. Let's see what we're working with. And they're so small. Okay, so that's the snub end. So that's the end that's going to go in. See if I can even get it on this tiny little thing. There we go. All right, and we'll tighten that in. Again, not super tight yet. We'll just get it snug so it holds the thermistor in, and then we'll tighten it later. Okay, get this one out. It's been sitting on this magnetic heat bed, so it's kind of magnetic. Working to my advantage a little bit. And snug that one in. I'm just assuming that's how it goes. It didn't really come in with any instructions. I've never done one of these repairs before, but seems pretty straightforward so far anyway. All right, now, so I guess the next thing we should look at is the fan here. Actually, I think, let me see here. This whole bracket is going to come off and be replaced by this new one, which is apparently upgraded. It's not an original part, but we'll see how it goes, I guess. I mean, just looking at the quality, they're pretty close. They're both kind of, I would say, like kind of steel type material. Screw holes and where the bearings are and stuff, it's all cut out the same. I just need to figure out how this one comes off. The new one is assembled. As much of that as you missed, that's okay. Yeah, I wasn't very good with operating the camera there. It didn't record any of that, but this is now swapped out with a new one. The old one is here. Well, that's an original part. This one is not an OEM part. It's aftermarket, but I'm hoping that'll be fine. Anyway, yeah, I went there. So when these are rewired, and I did go ahead and take off all the heat shrink from these things just to get a look at the wires, see what we were working with. This one, I believe everything is going to go over the top of this bar, which makes sense because we don't want it mingling with plastic and filament. So I'm just going to keep that in mind as I rewire things. But I want to get this fan back hooked up, or as close as it was anyway. Really just had the bolt in there. It wasn't really doing anything. There's a spot for a nut on this side, but I don't think I have one. I might have an extra. I'll have a look. But this, I believe, went this way. Blows the air that way and just kind of sits. So sorry about my head. Just gotta make sure that the screw hole is lined up. And then this will go back on there. If it lines up, hopefully. Kind of hard to see. I might have to grab my flashlight just to get that hole lined up. There we go. It's a little awkward, but hey, I think we're in. I think. Looks like it. Okay. All right. So we got that going, and now I think we can attach the fan over the top. Just gotta see how it sits here. Maybe like that? No. It looks like it's only gonna get screwed in on with two holes anyway. So at least that way it has a little bit of, it's it's not right up against the bearing. So maybe we'll roll with that. Yeah. F3. All right, so I think that'll go through. Seems to be feeding. Okay, let me see if I can find an Allen key for that. This size, yeah, sure. There we go. There we go. And then there's this thing that I think it clips the wires for the hot end. But I think we'll take that apart now. Oops. Just try and get these unweaved from this pile here. These are the thermistor wires. I already went and unplugged the connector. I don't want to lose my screws, so I'll just set those aside. Oh, right. Actually, hold on here. I think I missed a part. Forgot about this one. Wait a second here. Does this go between the fan and the thing? Might. It might. Okay. Yeah, let me worry about that in a second. Okay, so this, we're gonna actually have to save this connector because I think our new cable is gonna have to hook into there, and I'm not really sure if there's a positive and negative. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't, I mean, both wires seem the same. But we'll take a closer look at that in a minute. Yeah. And then the other one is this one. This is the old hot end. And then it's just a positive and negative. I'm going to save this one too, just in case we need that connector. But I think the new one is actually on that same connector. So here's our new wires. So this is going to eventually sit like this. And let me just think about this. Like this, and I'll plug that thermistor in because it's pretty straightforward. And just see if it actually fits. And I think it will. I don't see, it's just basically a positive and negative wire or data. Okay. Hopefully. Yes, clicked into place. That's good. Okay, so our thermistor is hooked up. Now we just need to do the connections for this. Got a little flathead here, so I'll just take that apart. And there she comes. Okay, so they have fixed bits on there. But anyway, so this is my connector. These are my two wires, I guess. So we'll just kind of screw them in a way that makes sense. Maybe I'll peel a little bit more of that. Let's see here. It looks okay. I mean, I think that'll make a good connection just as it is. So let's do that. We'll screw it back in. Give it a tug, make sure. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to splice that a little bit back. So let's grab some wire cutters here. And we're looking about like that. Don't want to go too crazy. Okay. Hopefully that's good enough. And we'll just stick that in. And tighten it up. Cinch that pretty good there. Let's see. Yeah, it's holding better, that's for sure. There we go. Okay. I'll clean up those untidy bits in a second, but probably want to do the same with this one. Just peel it back a bit. So give her a couple twists in the wire cutters there. There we go. And then in she goes. And tighten it up. That's this side here. Okay, not bad. I mean, it doesn't look very pretty, but we can clean that up a little bit. Not the prettiest thing, not the prettiest pumpkin in the pumpkin patch, but I think that'll do. All right, so this will come over the top like this one, and then we'll plug it in. And then this one goes back here. Not like you can see what I'm doing, but just clicks into place. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so that should be that part of it all done and dusted. Looks like that this goes like this, and then that's where the wiring is going to come back up through. For some reason. But why they do it like that, I don't know. But yeah, so it's going to sit like this, like that, and then the wiring is going to come up through here. So we'll do that last, but this is going to go between the fan and the hot end, or yeah. Okay. And then while I got this and I have this off, I'm just going to double check the wiring, just like that. With this in between, like that. And then down at the bottom here, it looks like the screw goes through all of this. So we will look into that in a minute. But we'll do this top one first. Now we just got to make sure everything kind of lines up, which is going to be fun. So if I put that through there and then run it into here like that, and then we can just screw it in to there, hopefully. So let's try that. Looks like it's going in. Okay, I got that pinched at the moment. I don't think I want it to be pinched. I think actually this wire is supposed to come. Oh, I don't want to break that fan. This way, over this little arm here. Like that. Like that? Yeah, I think so. Just pull it back until it's sort of where it should be in a minute. Okay. Get it. I get it. All right. So before I put this last screw in, everything's kind of held together at the moment. I'm going to get the hot end screw bit here. And then this is going to go in here. Just like that. And then we're going to have to put a little bit of... The new nozzle got screwed in too far. They're kind of fighting for space in there, aren't they? Okay. Interesting. But they kind of got to butt up against each other, I guess, because that's where the filament's going to go. And then we're going to have to put some thermal grease on here so that the heat escapes. So we're going to put a little thermal grease on here. I don't think we need a lot, but it does suggest, just by how the other one was, that it was pretty well covered. So I'm just going to use my finger to spread it out a little bit. All right. And then this should slip up here. This is kind of why I wanted to do this before I fit all the wires, because it's a little awkward. Just making sure that everything kind of goes to where it wants to go properly, and nothing's going to get bit by a fan or anything. All right, so that's in, and then I'll just kind of wipe the excess thermal grease off. Just with the corner of this towel. There we go. And then just bend everything, pull it around, just gently working everything over till it's sitting straight with the fan. Okay. I think we are looking good. I think. It's good as we're going to get at the moment. Anyway. All right. So I think this just kind of goes straight in, I guess, like that. Seems a little long. I don't think my other one stuck out that much. Is it a little bit longer? Do I still have that one? I don't think I threw it out yet. I don't know. Maybe I did. It's just a little tiny clear tube. Could be anywhere, really. But yeah. I just want to see. I thought it was sitting flush. Okay. I don't know, but we'll just give her a go here. These things are supposed to just like move in unison, so I guess if we have to like trim it, we can. I don't know. But we will just try these old ones. Oh yeah, it's going. Just didn't have the right size Allen key. All right. Now, meow. I have two bolts from my previous disassembly, and I think one goes here, and the other goes here to hold the wires. So I guess we can sort that out. I think before I put this back on, I think the heat shrink, when I was looking at the photos, goes back through here. So I might need to put that back on a little bit before I get that one on. The other thing, this is the filament hole dispenser thingy. But I think with that like way up, it's not gonna go. So I do believe that I'm gonna have to trim this down just to fit the top there. Because in the photos, it's not quite flush, but it's almost flush. It just sticks up a little bit. So it says it goes into the heat break, and I want to make sure this is in there. Like I think it is. Like I can feel it biting into something. So I think it's okay. But yeah, I do need to trim it, and I'll just do that with, I guess, some wire cutters. And hopefully it doesn't pinch too much. Maybe to prevent that, I'll just, I don't know if that's gonna work. But yeah, it seems like just about there. I guess I can just sort of, oh boy. Didn't cut all the way through. Come on. Oh my goodness, it's holding on for dear life. There we go. Just use some tweezers here and just make sure it's in all the way. Oh, nope. I'll grab my flashlight here. Oh yeah, I can see it going in there. I guess that makes me feel better. Just don't need to wedge it in all the way, I guess, but it should just be in there. And I think that's as far as it's going to go. So we'll just roll with that. And then this, hopefully, should just attach to this without issue. Hopefully. It's kind of blocking it a bit. I can feel it resisting. It's just blocking those threads a bit. Oh, I think I got it, maybe. Just had to get it to bite, and then she's in. I think, hopefully. All right, I'm just going to leave that hand tight for now. And hopefully that's all good. So the next thing is I want to get this, tame this beast of wires once again. So I'm gonna get the heat shrink cover. These things are kind of tedious to put on, but hopefully it goes pretty smooth. We want to start it down a little bit. And this wire needs to come in too. Let's just see if we can get it wrapped around these guys. All right. Okay, so now I think we can put this over top. Squeeze it in there somehow. Just like that. And then this gets bolted into place here. So we'll grab a bolt. Make sure she goes through. The wires are kind of putting some reverse tension on this, so it doesn't want to line up. Let me just grab my flashlight. Okay. I think it's good there. I think, hopefully. And we'll just try and screw it in. Not with that one, probably with this one. Almost there. Almost there. And we're there. All right, so I think everything is kind of holding into place right now. I'm gonna have to zip tie it back into the other little thingy, and then it also has to get. There's a second wrap that goes on the bottom to tame that beast. So I will get to that momentarily. But I think the last thing we need to do for this repair is put in the last bolts. And that goes apparently across all that stuff. We will try it. It just kind of holds everything together up at this end. If we can feed it properly. Hopefully. Kind of had a feeling this one was going to put up a fight because it's at a weird angle. But I think if I just kind of drive it in, hopefully it just cooperates. Hopefully. Come on. Aha. She's going now. I just need to get her to bite in the other end. All right. There she goes. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to finish tidying up these wires, and then I'm going to recalibrate this head. Hopefully, when you see me again, we'll be printing. So I will check back in a minute. Well, guys, this is my second first layer calibration test. Since the last cut, I've cleaned up the wires, did all of the calibrations for like the bed height and stuff like that, just to make sure everything was still looking good. And I think we can call this repair successful. I mean, I might have to adjust the Z height a little bit just to get the filament sticking properly, but even now it looks not too bad. Lines are nice and straight, so we'll see if that continues. But yeah, we replaced the whole entire hot end assembly, and I think just judging by what we see here, that it was successful. Filament is flowing, and nozzle seems to be looking good. I did do a hot nozzle adjustment just to make sure it was positioned correctly under heat, and I think it's good. So yeah, I guess we'll just call that successful. So if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the format on a Sharp Hi8 camcorder, and give us a like, give us a follow. I don't post long format content too often, but once in a while I do. And if you enjoyed watching me fumble my way through my first ever 3D printer repair, luckily on my own 3D printer. I do a lot of electronics repair, but this was my first printer. It's pretty straightforward. Everything had connectors. It's kind of just like putting together a computer. The only difference, I guess, would be making sure the nozzle is sitting where it should once everything is kind of hot. But yeah, that looks pretty good. Looks like there's a little bit of a tail. I don't know if we'll be able to focus on it on the end there, but other than that, not a bad little second test. Like I say, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of adjustment, but that's for me to do and not to bore you with. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.